Hey everybody, this is Lee with This Is Not Legal Advice, and today we're talking about something that is very fun. We're talking about how to get your groove on after. So we started after your divorce, but really it can be after any time in your life that you have gone through a place of not feeling like you're good enough, maybe not being in space of wanting to be in a relationship or wanting to connect with other people in that way, and have some great experts. I have my co-host Allison. Allison, you want to introduce yourself, and then Theresa?
Yeah, so I'm just sharing us out. I'm Ali Reiner, and I'm your Loved Again coach. And yeah, it's very close to my heart, because when we're in an unhappy place in a relationship, the last thing you want to do is get your groove on with the man lying next to you or the woman lying next to you in bed. And actually, sometimes it's the very thing you need to do to kickstart things. So yeah, I can't wait to get started.
And Theresa is a self-love. She's a thought shifter. She's got lots of stuff going on. And I read her book, and I let her tell you about it earlier. And I've worked with Theresa on my own processes to love myself again and to help me shed excess weight, as well as this heavy baggage of, not feeling loved or good enough. So Theresa, just tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Theresa Fowler, also known as the Thought Shifter. I'm a self-love goddess. We're all goddesses. I'm a mentor, coach, author, as Lee mentioned, and energy worker. And basically, I support women in feeling much better about themselves.
And you have to tell everybody what the name of your book is, because it's especially fun.
Yes, the book is called Breakdowns to Breakthroughs, the 7 Secrets You Need to Know to Love Yourself. And you can find that on Amazon in the States and in Europe.
Well, actually, I thought I had it sitting to hand here. I was going to flash it, but it's not. It's next to my bed now.
Yeah, it's next to my bed. It's up there.
So, and this is a crucial time. So when I have people that come into my office, often they've been in this place of not feeling love for a long time. And, one of the most important pieces to moving through relationship problems, like Allison helps people with, or moving through a divorce, is learning to love yourself again and having the strength and the power and resilience to believe that you're loved. And so, and people, I always started out with, and that's why I call the show this is not legal advice. I'll lean over and I'll say, this is not legal advice. And because I'll start trying to encourage them. And so, Theresa, what is like the first step? What is, if you're in that space of not having felt love, what's that first step?
Yeah, the acknowledgement.
That's good.
Acknowledgement. I remember when I was in that position, because I actually hated myself when I was in my marriage, and it was a marriage that was not the best thing because he was also quite narcissist and made me feel even worse than I already did about myself. And yeah, it was the actual acknowledgement of, hold on, something has to change here, and it can't just be me that's at fault, or me that's doing everything wrong. It can't just be that. And when I made that acknowledgement, then, as the universe works, the synchronicities happen and coincidences happen that make you become aware that, what you were thinking wasn't the way that it was supposed to be.
And Allison,
there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I think I know that's definitely what Allison, she always talks about, that first step. You want to tell everybody again, Allison, because I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say? Go on. No, what I see a lot is when women come to me, they are so invested in not letting go of their marriage. There's that big thing in their minds. They marry for life, and if it's not working, it's something in me. And when you can finally let go of that, and you can just acknowledge that you don't always have to get it right. Sometimes you can make mistakes. Mistakes are great if you learn from them. If what Theresa was saying a second ago was, basically, if we don't learn from them, they keep coming back and biting us in the bum and biting us in the bum until we get it right. And and that can be within one relationship, or it can be within, 5, 6, 10, however long it takes you to get that message. So, when I get women with me, it's really difficult sometimes to get them to understand that they can't actually change what's happening outside. They can't change that other person. But when you change yourself, you change the relationship with yourself, you change the way you view yourself. So you go through that, that self-acceptance, that the acceptance of the situation, but the self-acceptance, and that means actually I may have had a part in this. I may actually have brought some beliefs or some personality traits or something into this relationship that's caused this. And the other thing that I see, you were talking, Theresa, about narcissism, or slight narcissistic personality trait. And often I see women who come and they're convinced their partner is a narcissist until they start working on their own shit. And then they realise, and it was my story too, I was convinced narcissist wasn't a word I would have used because it wasn't in my vocabulary at that time, but control freak was there. When I started to change, the pattern of interaction changed, and therefore the relationship changed. So quite often this what we would perceive as the other person is actually us. I said my husband was a control freak. As it turns out, maybe I may have a couple of controlling issues that I had to work on and let go of. So was that what you expected me to say, Lee? No.
No. No.
Unfortunately.
You caught me. What I expected you to say was what you usually say about you have to decide what you want, and that you have to, and I think that's kind of what Theresa was. So Allison's taught me that, and I think it's really valuable is when people come in and they're in the situation and they're like, should I get divorced? They ask me, and fortunately I'm pretty good at saying yes. But I mean, I just say, but Allison taught me to have them think about what do you want? What do you want? And some people, if you can acknowledge that you want something different than what you have, you can't control that other person. The only person you can control is you, right? I mean, you can't make that other person be more loving or be more accepting or spend less money or, stop having affairs and the list goes on, right? But you can decide if that's something you want, and
absolutely.
if you can't live with it, then
then you have to take that responsibility,
and responsibility. Exactly. That's
the most difficult part, I think, is actually taking that responsibility. And so I've had women come in and they have they've been to see counsellors, marriage guidance counsellors, who've basically told them to give their partner an ultimatum. Now, unless you're prepared to follow through, why would you do that? Because you're never going to win.
No, silly.
People are used to giving responsibility for everything over to other people. So, even as far as your own health, people give their responsibility over to their doctor, which, yes, of course, doctors go to med school and learn about the body, but they don't know how you act. They don't know the pain you're actually feeling. They have no idea. And people, somebody giving over their responsibility to something like that, we're trained to do that.
For sure.
Yeah. So taking responsibility ourselves is something that's really difficult thing to do.
And I see people that oftentimes, I've had this conversation with somebody recently, and they said, well, I don't want to make you feel that way. And I said, well, that's not your responsibility. That's my responsibility. My thoughts and my feelings are up to me, not up to you. And that, I guess we get conditioned to think that we make other people feel a certain way, but really we all can control how something makes us feel. And especially in the process of divorce, you can choose, and I try, that's what I do in my practice, is I choose to help people see it as a new beginning. And then, instead of focusing on all the things you're losing or not going to have, let's focus on all the things you're going to have, all the amazing new things you can experience now. And I try to, and again, I'm not a therapist, but people will say, what am I going to do without my husband? And I'm like, well, let's talk about what do you enjoy? And sometimes they have just a hard time even acknowledging that. So Theresa, how do you get people to the point where they can find that love, that joy?
Yeah, you just reminded me. I remember when, even at the worst of it, when I was being physically sick from the stress and still so terrified to end things, because I thought that my life was over. Looking back now, I'm like, wow, how did I even think that way? Yeah, well, besides acknowledging and taking responsibility, it's trying new things. Just even, taking a course, a night course in something that you might enjoy, just to get you out of your comfort zone, which is not ever comfortable. But getting you out of your comfort zone and trying something different that brings some joy into your life.
And which brings us around to our whole topic is getting your groove on. And I think that being open to the possibility, again, acknowledging that you are deserving of love, that you can have somebody feel that way about you. Because many times people have been in a relationship, and I've talked about him before, and I don't think he's on Facebook, but I have a client who hasn't had sex for since 2002. We were in deposition, and the other lawyer goes, since 2012, and he said, no, since 2002. 2002. He's had sex in 15 years. And this is a good-looking guy, and I'm like, how is this possible? But we had this conversation before, and I think Josie said, well, do they want to have sex? And I didn't ask that. That's not my job. But, a lot of times after that kind of situation where you don't feel wanted, you feel like not good enough, you feel like they've rejected you, how do you move past that? Theresa, what do you tell people?
Yeah, it's finding that love in yourself first.
Yeah.
Definitely, because I felt undesirable for such a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only since I started looking at myself and going, oh yeah, hello you, that I felt like, oh yeah, well actually, I could be a part of a union again. But yeah, it was definitely growing that confidence within myself, and self-love has a lot to do with that.
And Allison, what do you tell people that are in that space? I'm sure that we all have kind of the same.
It's all pretty much the same thing. My big thing is we can only be loved as much as we want to, as much as we love ourselves. So that self-love thing is so important. Building that, it deepens and it grows and it changes the more you work on it. But just to get to that place where you can, as Theresa says, look in the mirror and say, do you know what? I'm not bad. Yeah, I'm open to it. Just get to the point that you're open to it.
Exactly.
You don't have to go anywhere with it, but just to be that, be ready. And as soon as you do that, so, for me, I was already married when I went through my process, but what I felt was I suddenly became attractive to people. But, all sorts of people. I got new friends into my life. People wanted to know what I was thinking. People wanted to know what I'd done, because I had this, this sense of, yeah, I'm good with me. And so, whether you're attracting the man, whether you're attracting new friendships or a new way of life, when you feel it in yourself, people want to know about it.
Exactly.
You suddenly find them shuffling up next to you and whispering in your ear.
Yeah, and so Theresa taught me something that, I've heard of it before, but she really made me do it when I was working with Theresa and said, have you done your mirror work? Have you done your mirror work? And so what is mirror work exactly, Theresa?
Right, well, mirror work is one of the easiest.
Here's something. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the easiest processes we can do, because basically when we see our image in a mirror or in a reflection, we tend to find the flaws. We don't look at ourselves going, oh, hello, beautiful. We tend to see the flaws. And, when you see a young child, I remember a few weeks ago, I was out with friends, and this little 3-year-old boy, Zach, we couldn't find him in the restaurant. He had gone missing. And we're like, where's Zach gone? And we found him in front of the toilet. There was this giant mirror. And he sat on the floor in front of the mirror, just like,
Oh, how cute.
I know, kissing on himself.
And unhygienic.
Yes, he was completely unhygienic. Yeah, but he was completely loving on himself in this mirror. And I was like, see, he's still got it. And that's what we lose. you know, animals do the same things. They're like so curious and like loving on themselves. So that's what we need to be doing when we see our own reflection. And that takes some work because, as I said, we're programmed to see the flaws. But when we,
We're also programmed not to be proud and not to look in the mirror and appreciate ourselves. You know, the mirror is very much, you know, brush your hair, make sure you've got no spinach in your teeth, and off you go.
exactly.
It's also breaking through that, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I shared this with you guys recently when we were speaking in London, that when I was growing up, my mother would say, I would ask her, or I remember saying, am I pretty? And she'd say, oh, don't think about that, because that means you know, that's a sin to think that you're, I'm not quite sure what Bible verse that is, but it's a sin to think that you're, and you know, it's not that I thought I was prettier than somebody else. I just wanted to know that she thought I was pretty.
Exactly.
You know, and I think we do get that message. Oh, that's arrogant. I've heard a friend of mine says, oh, I don't want to say that because it means I'm arrogant. And I said, that doesn't mean you're arrogant. That means that you can accept and love yourself. You know, those are different things.
Absolutely.
We're off topic a little bit, but what do you think about the difference between arrogant confidence or self-love?
Yeah, well, I mean, because this is another thing. I want to take back the word selfish, because selfish as a word just means pertaining to self.
Mm.
And if you don't know yourself, then nobody else is going to know you either, because only you know yourself. So,
and most of us don't know ourselves. That's the problem.
No, exactly, because we're told it's selfish. They've turned it into a bad word to make us think, ooh, that's arrogance, that's narcissism, that's, you know, and it's not. It's not at all. Selfish is not a bad word. You have to be selfish.
And you have to look out for your own interests, and especially in a marital situation. And I think Allison said it a few minutes ago. People think, oh, I have to stay married, I have to do this. And they lose sight of who they are and what they want and how, you know, what their life should be like. And they just are like stuck. And sometimes I'm like, you don't have to stay in this.
Exactly.
I see some really successful, bright people that are living in miserable situations. And I just can't understand why people stay in that situation.
Because it's terrifying to even think about what's on the other side. Change is scary.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, like I said, we're all kind of conditioned to stay in that, or subconsciously conditioned to stay in that comfort zone, which is always uncomfortable. But because your subconscious knows it, it would rather stay there than break free.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's true, and especially because, you know, I live in the South in the Bible Belt, and it's not as bad as it used to be. But people would come in and say, well, what are they going to think of me, or I'm going to get kicked out of my church, or they're going to talk about me, or I'm going to lose all my friends, and my kids are going to be ridiculed at school. Well, I mean, half the kids there have divorced parents, probably more than half, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not as bad as it was, but I think it's a matter of thinking. I mean, like I said, Allison taught me that. What is it that you want?
Exactly.
So easy, but I don't know why I didn't figure that one out.
No, but it's so easy, but it's not what we're taught. Therefore, you know, we're born, we're brought up, and we pick up everybody else's values, everyone else's beliefs, everyone else's thoughts on, you know, on relationships, marriage, and whatever. And they've picked them up from somebody else who picked them up from somebody else. We've no idea really what we believe.
Right.
You know, and it's stripping away at that. And it's actually, you know, it is as simple as sitting and asking yourself, what feels right for me? What feels right for me? And then once you've got a clear picture, the self-knowledge, I love that, Theresa, because it's, you know, it's a place that I really didn't want to go. Yeah, have you ever done those quizzes in magazines like Cosmopolitan or something, and you fill them out? If I'm doing them now, I get really confused because I don't know if I should answer as me or as the one that I think I should answer as. You ever get caught up in that? The old one that just did just said the right thing, as opposed to the me that's like, yeah, that doesn't happen to anyone else, dear. Oops. I'll take it.
Allison, that's a good one. That's a good one.
No, I have spoken to other people and they get
okay. They say the same thing.
But it's a kind of thing like, what should I be doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. how should I be doing this? There are no shoulds.
Yeah.
When you love yourself, you know you love yourself when the shoulds don't matter anymore.
Yeah, and all three of us, I think, like I said, we've gotten way off topic, but I think all three of us really want people to know that getting your groove back in any way is about being happy and about finding, joy. And we recently all were together at an event, and the love and the acceptance and the non-judgment in the room just is like a warm bath to me. It's just like a blanket of such warmth and love. And I know we want that for everybody. And if you don't think you can have that, then it starts with you. It starts with you. And so, Theresa, go through that exercise with us, with everybody, about the mirror work, because I think it's really valuable. I mean, the 5 little things that you have people like.
Yeah. So basically,
I'm going to write it down again too.
Okay. You ask yourself these 4 questions, and you make a list of at least 3 things for each question. Or well, for each statement, and you read these statements out loud to yourself every day for 30 days in front of the mirror. And I promise you, if you consistently do this every day for 30 days, your vibration about yourself will change. You won't even recognize yourself at the end of 30 days. It is so strong, this process. It's amazing. So the first statement that you wrote down is, I am proud of myself for. So on a piece of paper, you'll write, I am proud of myself for, and then you'll make a list of 3 to 10 things.
And you said earlier about I'm proud of myself for. These are things that you've done, not accomplishments of other people.
Exactly, that you've done. And it could be something that it happened at the age of 5. I am proud of myself for winning the singing competition in kindergarten. It can be anything that you're proud of yourself for.
Yeah,
sometimes it can be as simple as getting out of bed.
Getting out of bed.
I'm proud of myself. Exactly. I got out of bed and I got moving. Got on moving.
Absolutely. For somebody who hasn't been well, remember when I have chronic fatigue, I would have been proud of myself for getting out of bed. Absolutely.
And then what's next? I'm proud of myself, and then what's the next one?
And the next one is I forgive myself for. Now, when you say this to yourself in the mirror, when you're listing the 3 things to 10 things you're forgiving yourself for in the mirror, you may want to have some tissues.
I was going to say, that's a tearjerker right there.
It's a proper tearjerker, because the thing is, when you're speaking to yourself in the mirror, you're actually speaking to your soul. You're not speaking to your body, and your soul feels everything that you're telling it.
So is this something you've already forgiven yourself for? So I had a conversation with somebody the other day who has an affair, is very ashamed of an affair.
I've got to check on something. You guys go. I'll be right back. You guys go ahead.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I'll ask Theresa. So had an affair, was very ashamed of this affair, and was talking about the effect that it had on the 2 people, i.e. the partner and the lover.
Right.
And at no point in there was the effect on the person himself.
Right. So they haven't forgiven themselves.
They haven't forgiven themselves at all. Can you?
Because they're still feeling the shame.
Yeah, they're still living the shame.
Then they haven't. They may think they have forgiven themselves about it, but they haven't. No.
So, and that's something that you would put into you would repeat it, even if you don't feel it, even if you're not there yet.
Absolutely, even if you don't feel it. This is the thing with the mirror work as well. Even if you write these things down and your brain's telling you, okay, that's what we're going to write down, and your brain's you're arguing with yourself, write it down anyway, because your body and your mind will completely fight each other until you have control of it. Yeah.
So you get there eventually. Okay. So that's
absolutely.
Sorry, guys. Where are we?
That's why I said have the tissues ready. Because especially with the forgiveness, your mind may start arguing. You may start arguing with yourself, going, "Oh well, you don't really believe that," or blah blah blah. but your body wants it to happen, because
Yeah.
energetically your body's always telling you what it needs, what it wants, but we stop with this because there's so much noise going on, blah blah blah, so we don't listen. So yeah, you may have constant fights with yourself trying to get
Yeah.
this.
And what was so funny was the next phrase out of this person's mouth was, "Are you judging me now?"
Oh.
Yeah. He definitely. Oh, she.
I'm not, but you are.
Yeah.
And so what's the next one?
So the next one is, I love and appreciate that you blank blank blank. So again, that could be using, I love and appreciate the fact that you have such beautiful eyes. You know, tell yourself something.
Oh, nice. When I did that wrong. When I did mine,
That's right. Shows your eyes.
I love and appreciate others, like things in my life, instead of
but that's fine. I was just saying, for example, you could do that. There is no wrong way of doing this either.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because whatever comes up, you're supposed to be working through.
Yeah, because I was thinking about like having gratitude for something. I love and appreciate, but because I think that's important too when you're going through this process, is to realize you do have something to appreciate. You know, no matter where you are in your life, there is something. There is something.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm sorry I interrupted, but I was like, I did it wrong. So I love it. I did the video wrong. I screwed up.
And the last one is, I commit myself to. And I'm going to give you one for this one.
Okay.
The first one is going to be, I commit myself to doing this mirror exercise for the next 30 days consistently. Because it's got to be consistent.
I think.
And there are 5 here as well.
What would you say, Alison?
I said there are 5 here too. I commit to myself to do 5 things, including this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And when you finish all this, you will have your groove back.
Absolutely.
And we want to hear all about it.
The thing is, after 2 or 3 days, your subconscious may go, yeah, well, I did it for the past couple of days. I don't need to do it again, or I can do it tomorrow. And it'll be stop, start. No, it has to be 30 days consistently. 30 days consistently, I promise you, your vibration will change about yourself, and you'll look at yourself in the mirror going, hey, girl.
Hey, girl. That's funny. And I think that, and I really think it's like affirmations, you know, and it sounds silly, but whenever I have been like saying affirmations, you know, sorry, Mom, but if I say like, I'm beautiful, or I'm, you know, and I'll consciously make that effort, then that day people will be like, you look so beautiful today. Or it happens all the time. Yeah. You know, if you embody that, if you believe that, if you put that out into the world, then you're going to get that back.
Exactly.
Milo, do you know, you remember, Lee, going off track completely, the first time we had because I'm there today, sitting with you and Anela in London, and we were talking about how I take such a dreadful photograph, and you said, no, you just tell yourself,
yeah,
you're beautiful, you take a great photograph. Did you see the photographs? I have been using that. I've been using that constantly for the last 2 years. And
my Julie taught me that. He said, I'm so photogenic. I'm so photogenic. Yeah.
Oh, I like that one. I'm so photogenic. Yeah, I like
but
that.
But you are.
We're all gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys think, well, those ladies are awfully full of themselves today, we want that for all of you. We really want that for every single person watching.
Exactly.
Because
absolutely. I know that all three, people may be thinking, oh, those ladies are full of themselves today. But if you had seen the three of us, maybe even 2 years ago, it would have been a completely different story.
Yeah, I mean, it's a process, but don't be afraid to say nice things to yourself.
Exactly.
And, you know, that's where it starts is, you know, once you say those nice things to yourself, then it just flows from you, and other people will see it and will feel it, really. And So that's where it starts, you know, and that's so, I have clients that get, so all the videos go to my newsletter, and my clients will send me messages. That helps me so much. You know, so I know that every time we teach something, it's going to resonate with somebody that's listening or watching, and we just want the best for all of you.
Yeah, we should be treating ourselves like we treat our best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, the other thing is when you can talk to yourself, you know, you can look in the mirror and you can see all these beautiful things that Teresa's teaching us about. It's so much easier to allow other people to say them to us. I don't know about you, but you know, I couldn't take a compliment. I know so many people that cringe if you tell them they look beautiful.
Yeah.
But when you can see it and you feel it yourself, it's so much easier to sit back and accept it from other people. And that's where you really get a connection. When you're receiving as well as giving, that's where the connection really comes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. And so it's time. I have to court today, so I need to wrap this up. But Theresa, it was such a pleasure to have you.
I know, this is good.
So tell everybody where they can find you guys. And
yeah, you can find my blog at www.cronefashionistas.com, or you can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, The Thought Shifter. Yeah, just look me up. I'm working on my new website. That'll be
awesome. Allison, what about you?
The books. Available on Amazon. Just look up Theresa Fowler, Feel Like Shit, How to Stop Being Fat, and Breakdowns to Breakthroughs, the 7 secrets you need to know to love yourself.
Amazing. Perfect. Allison, what about you?
What about me? You can find me here, of course, every Tuesday with Lee, on PPC, Project Positive Change, or visit my website, which is alisonreiner.com, or come over and join my group, which is Loved Again Forever. We talk about this and many other aspects of relationships in there. So thanks again, Lee, for having us.
All right, guys, it was a wonderful day, and so I'm headed to court to spread some positivity around. I'm sure they're going to be happy to see me.
They're going to be happy to see you.
Yeah, they're actually not. I was telling the ladies earlier before I got on the call that the last time I was in this courtroom, the court reporter went, "I cannot take your positivity." So good luck.
Put it down. Thanks so much, Theresa.
Thank
you guys have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.